So this is officially Shit Guys Say to Camgirls, episode 2. This is Taja Ethereal, and this podcast is sponsored by Boleyn Models, and our second guest of this very amazing series, which I hope it will be, I think it will be, is Miss Kendi Cumming, Camgirl extraordinaire. And go ahead and jump in there and tell them whatever you want. Say hello. Tell them your blood type. Tell them your dick size. Tell them how you like to get off. Tell them whatever the fuck you want, girl. Just say hello.
Well, let me start off by saying thank you for having me. No, I'm fucking with you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I'm typo negative, if you really want to know.
Oh,
that's why they always bug me to donate blood.
Yeah, she's special.
I know. I'm the chosen one, except not really.
Yeah. I knew I was going to laugh my ass off talking to you, girl.
Let's see. I am on Streammate, Night Flirt, Sky Private. I am on, let's see, Chatterbait from time to time when I get bored and I need the attention.
Yeah, I think that's when I first met you. When I first started talking to you, you were on Chatterbait.
Oh, those were the good old days. Oh, man. I miss being there full time. Oh, man. I have so much respect for women who primarily work token sites. I have so much respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Naomi Court was our first guest, and she does a combination of both. She does Streammate. She's just getting started, but she's going from token sites to Streammate. And token sites are like its own beast because I've done them myself, but like hats off to them. But I remember when I first started interacting with you is that you were giving me advice on how to work a Chatterbait room, but it is exhausting. It can wear out, after a while. So I think eventually we're going to have more people who can like give us that token site hustle. But I'm confident that you could probably give people, insight on tokens, privates, whether it's indie. Like you're well-rounded. Well-rounded.
I made 90% of my. Well, I aim to be well-rounded. But for the first 2 years I cammed, 90% of my income came from Chatterbait. So I was primarily a token site girl for the first 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it put a roof over my head and, food in my stomach, so I can't complain too much.
Speaking of food, you talk about food a lot. Like, I
am such a foodie.
Yes.
I am such a foodie. I really am. I love food. I love cooking. Part of the reason I love camming is because it gives me time to actually cook a bomb ass meal every single night.
I know, girl. I look at your Twitter and I look at your you were talking about roasting chickens, and then we've talked about Trader Joe's, aka Trader Joe's. Shout out to Marina Star. Yes. But we were talking about like peanut butter. The best peanut butter is found at Trader
God.
Joe's. But like, yeah, I noticed when I look at your Twitter accounts, I'm like, this girl is a true foodie.
I definitely am. Like, I often get asked, by the people who like look at my wish list. They're like, "You have a lot of food things on there," and I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, people put up things that they like. Okay, like some chicks really like shoes, some really like clothes. Some like jewelry. I like cooking items because I like cooking. Okay, like." Don't shit on me because I want some nice new nonstick pans, okay? Like, stay in your fucking lane. You can have your jewelry. I want my nice, a new wok or something. Like,
I know exactly what you mean. I'm the same way
half
because
the people who follow me are like food people.
hey man, if that's your niche, if that's what you're building into, because also I noticed that like we have a lot in common. I jokingly I call you my sister from another mister because I found out like you have a birthday coming up.
I do.
You do, and we have a birthday like we're just only like 24 days apart or 24 hours apart in our birthdays. So like we have a lot in common. And so I started to notice when I look at your page that we get into a lot of the same fetishes. Like, I used to like, I felt like I was like in no man's land because I would talk about cake sitting. That's, I was
just
the only
did
person
my first one.
What? What do you mean? I thought you did a lot of those, like clips, or you're talking about shows?
No, it was my first cake sitting clip.
Really?
I just did my first.
Gosh.
Yeah, because I've thought about doing them before, and actually, I had a dream a while back that you and I like were decorating cakes to sit on them. Like, I had a dream, a very vivid dream that we were doing this.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, no, it was because I don't dream often, so when I do dream, like it's super vivid.
Really? You don't have? Oh my gosh! Really?
No, like, oh man, most of the time it's like a blackout. It's awesome.
You just don't remember. It goes away. Oh my gosh, I dream all the time and it's crazy, like weird. I won't even talk about what I dreamed about during my nap today. But anyways, we talked about that before where you're talking about cake sitting. I thought you had already started like making them. But yeah, I do a lot of those. And then I tend to like do the weird, obscure stuff. And then I noticed that you were into that too. So I thought you were
I love weird shit. I love weird shit.
Yeah. Like,
weird shit pervs are my favorite. When I get some dude who's like, I want to stare at your feet for 30 minutes, I'm like, you just made my day, mister. You can stare at my feet all fucking day if you want.
So would you like me to stomp Jell-O or chocolate sauce while you're staring at my feet? Or do you want them dirty or do you want them clean? Just let me know.
Do you want me to spread my toes with peanut butter in them? I had this guy when I first started camming. It was like my first Skype show, like regular, who had a syrup fetish.
Oh, that's kind of, yeah, syrup is not that fun though.
Oh man, well, he made it fun. He had like a specific thing that he liked. He liked me to dress up in white lingerie. And then I laid, and it had to be like a certain brand of syrup too. Like if I didn't have that brand, he was not interested.
What did he, so he wanted to see the bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it had to be a certain brand and like a certain type of that brand.
Don't tell me it was Aunt Jemima. Don't tell me it was Aunt Jemima. Okay.
No, it was Mrs. Butterworth's or whatever. And it was like the extra buttery kind. I think it was the extra buttery kind. Whatever. Anyways, so what he'd do is I'd heat him up, and then I'd lay in my bathtub, and like I'd have the camera like looking down at me in the bathtub, and I'd pour it all over myself and be like, "Yeah, you want to butter me up like a biscuit? I want you to cover me in your sticky syrup."
He's fucking good.
And he'd buy like hour-long shows. I fucking love that dude. Syrup guy, if you're listening, come back to me. I miss you so much.
Oh, that's like one of my things. I want
you to butter me up like a biscuit and cover me in your syrup.
That's one of my things, like when I say, like when I'm making a clip or if I'm not either one or two things, this is how I know I have a hit. If I'm not either laughing my ass off hysterically by the time it's done, or crying in shame, then if I'm not doing one of those two things, then I know it's not a hit. It's just like a whatever. We'll see what happens type of clip. But it has to have one of those two reactions, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna pay my rent with this. That's with me, because when I'm making like weird clips, when I'm sitting on cakes or burping clips and
burping clips.
Exactly. Like whenever I'm doing crazy weird shit like that, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is money in the bank. And if I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. But when those are my money makers. It's the ones where I'm like, yeah, that was fucking awesome. Those don't sell. They never fucking sell. So that's just my rule of thumb. But yeah, that was one of the first things that drew me to you, was just noticing you're a little offbeat, but I like that. I like offbeat.
Oh yeah, I'm eccentric as fuck. I am. I'm a little weird. But when I first started making clips, I didn't want to make hardcore clips. I wasn't really interested in that because there are quite a few people who do them. So, and I didn't have the money to invest in the tech to do them the way I wanted to do them. Right. So I just didn't really make regular vanilla hardcore clips. But I'd make these fetish clips and they'd sell super well. And like some of them were things that like I didn't expect to sell well, and all of a sudden like I'm very well known in the tongue community because I have a really long tongue. Oh man, I get like fan mail about my tongue at least once a week, and it makes me so happy.
Really?
Oh yeah, I get poems.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to no, you don't have to share it. Like, I don't know. I wish you had told me that before you could like read a poem, like shit guys say. Because we don't always want to have to make it like, it's not necessarily the shit guys say. It's not necessarily a negative thing. Because I don't want to talk shit about guys, because sometimes
I get weird ones too. Don't get me wrong. But I get good ones sometimes. Sometimes I get great ones.
Yeah, like sometimes it's really, really endearing, some of the things they say. But you'll have to like maybe forward a few snippets to me later if you don't mind.
All right.
But that is hilarious. But yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like we do a lot of a similar content. Like there's just so much stuff that you can do out there. Like this is something that I had to say no to though, because there's a guy who I know, he resurfaces like every few months. He wants me to do fur fetish, and he wants
really?
Not just like fur coats. I don't mean like fur coats, like glamour girl fur coats. I mean he wants animal pellets.
Oh man, where was he like a year ago? I was dating some like crazy ass outdoorsman who had like an entire man cave full of fucking pelts. Like, girl, where was this guy?
I will dig him up because he keeps creating new email accounts to contact me, and I've already told him no. So I'll forward him.
I have like a couple boxes of animal pelts here somewhere.
But pelts. I said pellets. Pelts. That's the correct.
I have like some weasels. I have a raccoon here somewhere.
Stop! Really?
Yeah. No. Okay. So when this dude moved out of my fucking house, like he left a bunch of the shit, and then like I asked him if he wanted like all he wanted was his cougars and his bear and like a bunch of other shit. And I don't hunt. Like I am not a hunter.
He didn't want the rodents. He wanted the big game.
Yeah, he wanted the big shit, you know. And so he took the big shit and like left me like with this box of like a hodgepodge of things. I was like thinking about putting him on Craigslist, but now I'm reconsidering.
Yeah, well, he wanted.
Wait, what does he want? That's really my question.
He just wanted to see me draped in animal pellets, aka pelts. But he would give these scenarios, and I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, anti-fur, animal fur, because I mean, I am an animal lover, but I also eat meat, so it's like there's that contradiction. So I'm not trying to get into that. But what he wanted was just so bizarre, and then it was like he expected me. Okay, here's the problem. He expected me to just automatically have these things.
Isn't it weird how they do that sometimes? They're like, do you have 4 gallons of ice cream? And it's like, the fuck, how big do you think my fucking freezer is?
Right, except I actually do have 4 gallons of ice cream because I make ice cream and have a food truck. But anyways.
Oh, well. We can't all be perfect, okay?
But like, yeah, he expected me to have these supplies on hand, and he wanted, I think he did get into precise colors and stuff. And I'm like, why does he keep bothering me? Why won't he just go away?
I think everybody ends up with some persistent ones. Like I have one guy, I made this clip like probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I only made one of them. And like I still like I have this guy who occasionally like tries to buy custom clips from me of that fetish, and it's a fetish I hated make. Like I only made a 3-minute video because it was so obnoxious, and I didn't make a ton of money off of it. Like I probably made like $20 selling the clip, like reselling the clip. Like I was not fucking balling from this video. But oh man, this dude thinks it's the cat's meow, and like anytime I run a video sale, like he'll buy a video and be like, "Can you do this?" And I'm like, "No," and I'm gonna have to refund you now. Like the next time, I'm just not going to. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Like fucking ask. Just ask. Please ask. Use your words.
Use your words. They are like, I don't know. They are interesting. They keep us on our toes and so forth. So wait, we just started rambling. That's kind of how I knew this was gonna go. I expected it fully. So right now, I think you are a Boleyn model. You are in a Boleyn model program, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know. Gosh, what was I gonna say? I just had a big old brain fart. Must be the green tea. Exactly.
Yeah, make sure you put a fart noise in there, please.
Especially since we're talking about fetishes. That's another one. But like, people
That's
assume...
one I don't cater to.
Me either. People, especially when you do burping, they automatically like. I remember I used to be on Stream8 and I'd had burping tags, and guys would come in and be like, "Can you fart?" And I'm like, "No, not on command. I can pretend." And I wanted to be honest about it. Because I'm like, dude, I can't. But I could burp like nobody's business, bro. But like, they would like fart. And I'm like, I don't know how guys do that. Like, how do you fart? Like, so you're just sitting there in the middle of your shift. You're like pretty perfect and makeup is done. And you're sitting there with your Fenty Beauty and everything is great. And a guy wants a fart show. Like, what do you think we are?
You know what? I'm sure there are some chicks out there who have irritable bowel syndrome who that is their dream customer.
Well, why don't they go to those girls?
Because we're more fun to annoy.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Like, why
you know what I always get?
What's
you know
that?
the ones I don't cater to? Well, no, it's one of the fetishes that I will do. I don't enjoy doing it. But I'll do it because it's easy and I don't have to do much. But well, oh God, I fucking hate armpit guys. Fucking hate armpit guys. Armpit
I
guys
was just thinking about that. I was
Hate
just
'em.
actually thinking about armpit fetishes, and I was like, my mind was going crazy thinking about fetishes. What is that about? What are you supposed to do? Like, you're supposed to just show it off like it's a Lamborghini, like
I have
you're
this
a car model.
Lamborghini of armpits. After I go for a run, it's smooth and smelly. No, because I do tongue fetish stuff. I get a lot of guys who want me to lick things. That's something I like. I have I'm pretty sure I have the most tongue tags on Stream8 at this point. I have a shitload of tongue. Yeah, I have a really big tongue. Like I'm well known for that. Like that's something I do. So I get a lot of guys who are like, "Can you lick your armpit?" And it's like, and then normally I tell them $50 and I'll do it. But you know,
I'm dying. I'm sorry. I just had an image. I was thinking about a cam show where a guy was like, he was like, "Can you lick your armpit?" And I actually tried. I couldn't reach it. My tongue is long, but I just could not reach it. It was like I just had some problems. So yes, welcome back. This is the brand new Cam Model Podcast. Shit guys say to Camgirls. This is Taja Ethereal, and I'm talking to Kendi Cumming. Sorry about that. I just wanted to take a break because I was getting paranoid, and I saw something with my software, and I was like, holy fuck. That would really suck if this shit is not getting recorded. So yeah,
God, that's the worst.
Yes, I had to play it back and make sure. So, yeah, what we were talking about random shit about clips. That's another thing within the cam model community, that it's not just about cam sites. There are so many new sites like Clips for Sale, like what are not new. Did I say a new site called Clips for Sale?
You totally did. That just happened.
Jesus. That's like the granddaddy of all clip sites. But anyways,
the Mac Daddy of clip sites.
The Mac Daddy. But like they like paved the way. But like there's so many others that have come. Come after them. But like whatever. But like maybe that's why I said that, because they are like still, despite like ManyVids and I1 clips, they still are like the top site, especially when you want to do the weird shit.
I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Kennel. I need you to get in your kennel. Thank you.
Is that your fur baby?
That is my fur baby, Dolly.
Oh, Dolly. Hello, Dolly. I'm sitting here with my puppy. He is... he's asleep, actually. Never mind.
He's there in spirit.
Yeah, he's just a fluffy little mess on a big old pillow, living his best life right now. Probably silently farting.
Well, as long as he's happy.
Yeah, he looks pretty happy right now. But yeah, that's another thing we bonded with, like pets, because like I man the Boleyn Models Twitter account, and I'm always asking people like, yo, send me pictures of your fur babies. I'll even take a picture. I'll even look at your goldfish if you have one. You know?
Okay. I'll keep that in mind when I decide to adopt a new one. I'm in the market. Do they have any good goldfish rescues that you know of?
Did you say recipes?
No, rescues.
Oh.
No, I was at this like crazy Asian market like a few days ago, and I was like walking through, because I get curious. I was walking through the freaking seafood section, and they had a huge one. Like it was an entire like section of the store, like an entire wall of the store was just seafood.
That's
and,
nice.
Like, some of it was fresh, some of it wasn't. You know, like some of it was frozen.
Yeah.
And like, so I was like walking through, and it was like all these things that like, some of which like I don't think I'm ever going to use, but you know, like, oh, that looks cool, and this and that. And then I was like, why is there a parrotfish?
What is a parrotfish?
They're these like freaking tropical, like colorful ass fish.
Saltwater fish?
Yeah, and they have these like little beaky mouths, I believe. And anyway, so I was like, what in the fuck? And I was like, and then I had a debate with the person I was with. I was like, are they edible? Like, can you eat parrots? And so like we had to like Google it, and then like I was like, oh wait, there's a recipe on Food Network, therefore it's edible. Like,
so maybe they saw that recipe. That's different. I don't know that I don't have access to Asian food markets like I used to. Actually, surprisingly enough, because I am back and forth between Northeast, like right outside of Philly, and then South Florida. Mm-hmm. When I'm in South Florida, yeah, seafood galore. Up here in North, it's like you don't get that selection. Oh, yeah. Even though it's still the East Coast, you don't get that selection. But Asian food markets, I love Asian food markets because you get turned on to new things like bok choy. Like that is my shit.
I love bok choy. I didn't
know about it before until I went to one. Oh my god, yes.
Like sesame oil and some garlic. Oh man, bok choy is like super easy to make, super easy and like delicious.
And it's it's a nice filler. But like I didn't know about it until maybe like 3 years ago. I like stumbled into like a Asian market. Like I've been to Asian markets for years, but I never really paid attention. I'll be honest, I ain't pay attention. I was probably going in buying things in the background that you ain't supposed to be paying for, but like as a legit adult. Legit shit, like bok choy caught my attention.
Normal people go to the store for, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, here we are talking about food again. So anyways, what I was going to ask you was about Stream Aid. And I know that you're like, I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't know that, like, you seem like a pretty big deal there. I can tell you're doing pretty well there.
I tend to. It's in cycles. Sometimes I get busy elsewhere, and right now my attention's been elsewhere. But when I'm on there, I'm kind of a big deal on StreamMate. No, I'm kidding. But no, once I figured out, because I went from a token site to StreamMate. Once I figured out how to work StreamMate properly, like, oh, so much happier, and I've done very, very well. I've flourished.
Mm-hmm. Do you like mix it up? Because I I don't get to watch a lot of cams, but like whenever I see someone who I like, and you're one of them, obviously, I'll peek in, and I know that you are almost always busy. I'm like, this girl is always in a fucking show. Like I'll log in and I'll check, and I'm like, you're at the end of a countdown to a goal show, or you're already in a private, and I'm like, goddamn.
Yeah,
This girl's working
I found my market. I found my people.
There you go.
No, you know, my background's been in sales mostly, you know, real estate, material things, websites, all sorts of things. So it's like I understand how to sell things to people. I know how to sell a fantasy. And I think that's very, very important with camming, especially when you're trying to sell one-on-one shows.
Right.
So yeah, I love.
You always are very personable. I have noticed that. Like, it's. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I peeped in. I'm not like. I do it from the outside. Like I don't
want, baby.
Yeah, girl. Look, what's up? What's up, y'all? I'm just saying. But like, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I watched you, and it was so funny because you made it sound like when you were doing your goal show countdown, that it was like an event. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because I rarely do them. Like I only do them a couple times per week, if that. Like I don't like doing gold shows. So basically I try to like psych the guys into like thinking, you know, if I'm doing a gold show, you better get the fuck in on this because I'm only running it once. I'm only running it once.
This is
like
a deal. Yeah.
Shit. You know? Oh, you missed it? Well, you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah. You got them conditioned, trained, and that's a lot of things. So like I brought it up because I think like a lot of people hopefully who might listen to this, whether it's they are brand new cam models who are trying to figure it out, because sometimes after you've been in this for a couple of years, like, how long have you been a cam model again? How long?
Oh God. In Camgirl years, I'm like 75.
Man, bitch, I'm dead.
No. I will have been camming 5 years in April. So I've been doing this a while.
Yeah. So like my point is, it's like a lot of people who are brand new who just enter the business. Sometimes like I find that when they come and they show up, whether it's whatever their chosen form, they'll ask these questions, and then we're trying to help them and move them along. And I realize that sometimes when it's a matter of fact, I'll respond matter of factly, and I'm like, and I have to stop and go, well, damn, it's not that easy.
No.
It's not that easy. I had to remember that like this person is brand spanking new, and they're trying to figure out how to, because it's a process. Like I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say here. I know what I'm trying to say, but here's what I'm trying to say. is that performing and entertaining a group of people, especially a group of people that you may not necessarily know or see, that you can't get the feedback from them, that you just have to like pick up a vibe, because there's a certain nuance when you're reading a chat room, when you're reading the responses, when you're picking up on the ding 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 dings from the tributes and the tips. It can be overwhelming. So it's like after a while, being a cam model on a cam site, whether it's Skype shows or cam sites, specifically cam sites, it becomes more instinctual, and it's really good. And I know after watching you and several other people, I know you guys have that vibe. You got it down. It really is a vibe. So
I aim to be terminally delightful.
Yes.
I want people to come and be like, oh, she's so nice. And that is the general vibe I like to give, because I mean, and I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle, because there are some girls, like one of my favorite people to watch was this girl on MFC before I started camming. She was like just an asshole to everybody. Like she'd get on there and someone would tip and she'd be like, that's it, bitch. And you know what? She actually did all right. Like in retrospect, like the biggest tip I've ever seen on a campsite was in her room.
Okay.
And she was just just a total bitch to everybody. And it worked. Like, it worked for her so well. It was just like she oozed it, but in a way that was like almost endearing. So I think that, like, finding who you are and figuring out how you can sell yourself best, because it's not going to work for everybody, is really important.
No, it's not. It's not everyone can do the ice princess, the fuck you pay me now vibe. It doesn't work. Like, I can do it sometimes. I can probably do it maybe 30 to 40. But I found out after so many years, trial and error, that I'm better at a sweet, nasty, bitchy, but sweet, mostly sweet. Sweet and assertive, I could just say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah,
but like
you're very like calm and collected on cam, like almost a seductress, like, and you have such a nice cam voice. Oh my god, you have such a nice cam voice. You really do.
Thank you. But yeah, like it's just different. You have to like command control and like kind of pull them in. But being like, fuck this shit, y'all should be paying me more money, it doesn't work for me.
No, it doesn't work for me either.
Yeah, I wish it did, but it doesn't. I have to log off on those days.
Yeah, being an ice queen doesn't work for me. Being catty doesn't work for me, or snobby doesn't work for me. I found that being obnoxiously nice tends to work which is funny because over half of my customers are like subs at this point. They're extremely submissive. So it's really funny watching the dynamic of, I'm really, I'm very, very sweet and I'm very, very nice on cam, and I try to be as personable as possible. But it's really funny that I draw those guys in, because it's like a light switch. Like, the second I get one of them in an exclusive show, it's like, all right,
I got you, bitch.
Ready? Yep.
I got you.
I'm gonna make you jerk off with your fucking tears, bitch. Are you ready?
I'm gonna make you jerk off with your tears. That's your lube. That is your only lube allowed, is your fucking tears. Squeeze them out. Do it now. Yeah, I know what you mean. They think you're sweet.
I had one guy who
harmless,
was really scared of me. He was like, oh, so I'm into cock and ball torture. I was like, do you have a hammer? and he had his camera up. The look on his face was great.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because some of them, a lot of them, like I spoke with this with someone else that I was like doing a project with, where she wanted to know how to attract more, what was it? She wanted to attract more alphas or more subs. I can't really remember. Sorry, I deal with a lot of people. But I was trying to explain that a lot of these guys who contact us, whether it's through on cam sites, if they want to contact us through phone sex, they want to order content. Many of them, even when they say they are submissive, they really aren't submissive. So when they show up in front of us and they say things like, dominate me, goddess, I want to worship you. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? And then when you try to riff off of them and say, okay, well, I want you to get that hammer, or how about this? Get the encyclopedia. Do you have an encyclopedia in your house? Slam it on your cock. Put it on the table and slam it. They look at you like, but mistress? You're like, no. They're not really, exactly. They're not really submissive. So you're really just role playing. A lot of these guys could truly be alphas, betas, whatever, but they're just playing a role and they're trying to get something out there and off their chest, and then they go off to the rest of their lives. These guys could be like running companies, startups. They could have so much responsibility that they just want to be a sub for 10 to 15, 20 minutes or whatever. I've
actually found that a lot of power suit wearers tend to be fairly submissive sexually. I tend to get a lot of them.
How do you know that they're power suit? Like, what do they tell you?
Because oftentimes they'll follow me on Twitter, or they'll send me an email afterwards, or they'll contact me somewhere, and it's like, oh, all right. Or they'll have multiple shows, and after a while, it's like you can kind of put two and two together.
Yeah, exactly. Like when they start buying multiple shows a week, a month, without batting an eye, and Yeah, I mean, they're
Yeah,
not all sex
the
addicts.
guy who's
They can afford
spending,
it.
$600-700 a week on me and isn't batting an eyelash, like, I have a pretty decent idea of what he does. I have some guys who will straight up tell me.
Yeah.
And, like, I had one guy who I was like, yeah, right, when he told me. And he was like, actually, no, I will prove it to you. Mm-hmm. And, like, he went the extra mile. I was like, all right, I will take back what I just said. Like, you put me in my place, you win.
Now buy a show, tip me, thank you.
Oh, they always do. They always do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I used to say, like, maybe a couple of years ago, because I was kind of getting burned out, and I was like, it's time to start doing something else in this business. But then I think I had a really great month, and then it turned into another great 2 months and 3 months. I think I would probably always be in some realm of this business for as long as I have a voice, as long as I have a body.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever, fuck it. Like, why should I quit? Even if I go off and do other things in this business, it's just like I've built up so much. Why would I quit? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I feel the
so.
same way.
Yeah.
There have been times where, I'll take time off. I do. That's something I definitely do. I definitely take personal time.
You have to.
Oh yeah. And, I have definitely found that, diversifying has helped me from burning out as badly. I mean, when I was working one site only, I get so burned out, and then, like, I had nothing to fall back on to do anything else,
That's when you were working Chatterbaits, I was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, after 2 years of doing that full time, that was enough. But, like, diversifying, at that point, I was like, well, I'll start doing another cam site, because it was the only site I was on. Okay, yeah, I'll start doing, another cam site, and, that really took off for me. Phone sex. I was like, you know what? Like, I had a blown out knee for a bit last year.
I remember that. I remember you talking about that.
Oh God, it was awful. It was awful. I still have to get cortisone shots. Like, I'm like a granny. I'm like some days it's like, yeah, I can do all the riding shows, and then other times it's like, yeah, my knee's all fucked up. I can't. Like, come back in a week once I have my cortisone shot, guy.
Not sexy at all. Hey, can you come back when this sweating is going down? Come back, baby. Come back, sugar. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Come back, sugar. I'll be ready for you.
Oh. Let me Botox some of these wrinkles out.
Yeah. So you went off, and then you, like you said,
I did phone sex for like 2 months there, and I did really, really, really well, surprisingly. And like, it's just a balancing act, I've found. For me at least, it's been,
Well, it's a matter of just figuring out how to work the game, because it's not. I find it's really not a set formula. I think people should diversify, like you said, and get out there and figure out how it works for them. But how you make it work for you is unique. That's the best part about being a sex worker, phone sex worker, cam model, content creator, web star, whatever the hell you're trying to do. Is try to get in there and try to figure out which best works for you, because it's really, especially like when it comes to rates too. That's another thing that a lot of people talk about a lot. Like, don't be cheap, don't be cheap. And I'm just like, well, sometimes you can be cheap in this section, and then be high scale on this section, and then it all comes together. So it's like you really just have to jump in there and figure out how that shit is going to work for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's lucrative. It's more than lucrative.
Oh yeah. And like, there are some fetishes where, people don't bat an eye at spending, 15 or $20 a minute on a custom video for that fetish, because it's, it is what they want. They will pay top dollar for it. There are other things where it's like, $10 a minute, and they're like, ooh, can I have it half off? And it's like, you know what? Go deep throat a cactus, bitch.
Nah. Let me ask you this question. And since we're talking about prices and so forth, you say that people will pay, are willing to pay $15 a minute for specific fetishes. I know you may not want to give all the goodies away, which you're big on, but because like sometimes that stuff is kind of coveted. I don't always like to tell the stuff that I'm making my most money on because again, we are still in a business. But when you're charging $15 a minute, I would want to know what are you doing that for customs? Are you setting that as like, say for instance, you throw something up on a cam site, whether it's Night Flirt, Clips for Sale, ManyVids, I Want Clips. What are the other ones?
Extra lunch money.
Really? Extra lunch money? Really? Okay,
hey, you know what? You'll okay.
Bring that up. Okay, go dial it back.
Extra lunch money all the time, okay? And I understand it because you know what? There are a lot of fucking cheap people on that fucking site. I understand. I've been there for years. All right. My best custom content buyers have all come from there.
Really?
Every single one of them. The best ones, the ones that are willing to pay a top dollar. And oh man, do you have to sort through months of shit to find them? But I have guys who have bought 20 customs from me. Yeah, and they'll pay 10, 15, 20 bucks per minute for those.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So like
I respect your opinion and your preference.
I mean, like, I can't make jack shit on there, like, doing certain things. And, like, it's an oversaturated market for, like, you know, if you don't know how to edit videos, or you don't have a lot of money to put into, like, good lighting, or good, like, that's a good place to start because you'll still get some sales. Or like if you're like at one point I was just making videos, like for like a 2-month period of time, I just made videos. And what I did was I was on there a lot and I'd look at their like request section. And what I do is like, I'd find something that was going to be, you know, at least put some money in my pocket, you know, like at least, you know, 50 bucks. And I'd go, all right, you know what I can do with this? If it's something I can resell, I'll do it. And then, okay, yeah, I have 50 bucks in my pocket for doing this custom video for this dude that I don't have to say his name in. And then I'll also be able to resell it. And, like, I found both of my two most popular niches that way.
Yeah, see, that's why I love you, girl, because you're a hustler. That's another thing. You got to look at this situation because, like, another woman's garbage is another woman's treasure. And that really is how the business works. Like, because I didn't really put too much attention into ELM, extra lunch money. But I know that there are people, because I know that people still do well because I'm like, they must be doing well. Why would they be putting that information into, like, tweeting them or whatever? Not that I saw any of your tweets. I don't know if I ever saw any of your content, but I still see some chicks. I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there? But I just kind of ignore it. Another site that I have had a lot of success with was I Want Clips, I Want Empire, whatever they want to call it these days, was a surprise for me. I've done, there's always like my own type of stuff because you want to try to, I tend to try to send people through IndieBill and purchase my content through there, through my website, which I have like IndieBill pay pages and stuff. But as far as platforms, I've done really well on I Want Clips. It didn't start out that way, but then like one day I got a phone call from a guy and he just started spending money and he started spending more money and he started spending more money. So I was like,
I love those guys. They're my favorite.
Exactly. And like, I don't know what happened with their algorithm, but like I popped up and then next thing I know, I started getting more sales and then I started getting more content requests and so forth. So like, I don't know. It just came as a surprise to me. Then there's ManyVids. I've never done as well, but I do have a lot of respect for ManyVids and their hustle, and they're constantly coming out with new products. But it's not one of my preferred sites. But
ManyVids for me it's a love-hate relationship.
Okay,
it really is. No, it is like, and I respect the hell out of women who can make ManyVids work for them.
Right.
But in order to be successful on that site, at least from what I've seen, is you have to be putting out content all the time.
Right. It's not like a put it up and let it rest a little bit. That's what you're saying?
Like, well, no, it's like on Clips for Sale, for instance. Like, you can post a video and, like, you know, like you'll get you might get 1 or 2 sales in the beginning, and then you might go a couple months and then get like 2 or 3 more later.
Yes.
Right? That's what I love about
You'll still hit the $50 minimum.
Right?
Regardless, even if you haven't uploaded they tell you that you should do it once a month or something, I think, which was years ago when I signed up. We all know that's not true.
No.
But like, even when because I have 3 stores on Clips for Sale.
Oh,
and there's
damn.
yeah, I have 3 because I try to separate my content. Because I mean, you know, the weird whatever type tongue burp cake sitting shit is not really all for the dom type stuff. So I separate it, and then I'll get a deposit sometimes. I'm like, fuck yeah, $70. And you didn't even know that you were selling stuff, and it was stuff that was from 7 years ago.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had a video recently.
7 years ago. I still make money on stuff on Clips for Sale. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm with you to the day I die. I love you.
Oh yeah. No, I had a video recently that like I made like 3 or 4 years ago. And like I thought, like, when I put it out, like, looking back, I mean, I did a decent job for what I had, but, like, it's not the best video ever. But, I mean, it's decent. But,
they don't always care about the bells and whistles.
Yeah, really... I mean, it was good 3 or 4 years ago. Like, it was top-notch then. But, you know, time and, you know. Anyways, so, like... somebody, and that video never sold, and I was a little butthurt about it. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little butthurt because that video that I worked so damn hard on back in the day never sold, and I had given up on it. Like, I was just gonna keep it there in case, like, some crazy person decided to buy it, but, like, you know, whatever. Yeah, so, recently, somebody bought it, and I guess it was a category that doesn't get a lot of, sales. Oh, man! All of a sudden, I had 5 more.
Like foot pedaling.
Yeah. I actually do really well with that. Like, I have videos.
Shut up!
Oh, fuck yeah. The secret with that? Stick shifts. They fucking love stick shifts. That's the secret. Girl. I swear to God. That
was being random.
Oh man, you named some random ass shit, and I've probably done. The only ones I haven't done that are like really, really random that like come to like mind are like fucking lawnmower driving. Haven't done that one. It's on my to-do list. I don't have a big enough yard for like a riding lawnmower though.
Me neither. No.
Like maybe I'll put a dildo on it and like ride it around the yard.
No. Wow, that's a category. Like, oh my gosh, we're still talking about Clips for Sale, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh wait. I'm gonna finish this thought so like it actually connects. No, I have to finish it because I realized I didn't. So that's what I like about Clips for Sale is like if you sell something, then it pops up on like the most purchased videos in that category, and you get more visibility, especially in like the smaller communities. Whereas, like, with mini vids, it's more vanilla. I don't make a lot of vanilla content, so that's on me. But, like, it's easier, or it's harder to sell things because you'll post something and, like, after 5 minutes, it's off the front page. So unless somebody is looking for you, or you are in the top, 100 or whatever, it's really hard to have visibility. Which I really like. I respect people who have put in the time and the effort to make the top 100, but like, I am probably not going to be in the top 100 just because of the content I make, but I'm really big in those communities.
Right.
So like for me, like it's a love-hate relationship. Like occasionally, I'll have $100 a month and I'm like, yes, vindication. And then other times it's like, I haven't sold a video on here in like a month or 2. Maybe I should post something. And it's like the people who are always posting stuff tend to do better. So like if that's something you can do, like I bet you'd be really successful.
Consistency. What is vanilla content? Like, let me ask you about that. Because we talk about weird stuff, because even like we talk about fetish content, we talk about weird content. Sometimes the fetish content tends to be like what I've noticed, because I've been in this for a long time and I've watched the transition, and when people automatically assume fetish content, it always tends to be like find'em, find'em type stuff, and then there's like the weird stuff which we've previously talked about here in this podcast.
Yes.
what is vanilla at this point? What the fuck is vanilla? Is it missionary position? What is vanilla?
Okay, like for me, if we're asking my opinion,
Of course, there you go. Per se, what would you say?
Yeah, well, in my opinion, my well-educated, like what I think of as vanilla is like straight sex, where there's nothing special about it, or like blowjobs. Or, I mean, at this point, because of the market, even anal to a certain degree. I mean, unless you're doing something extreme.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're doing, like, fucking fisting or, like, anal gaping, like, yeah, you are not in that, you are not in the vanilla category. Yeah. Obviously, you have a specialty brand at that point.
I just covered my face because, I was talking to someone, I think I brought it up with Naomi with the last podcast where I found someone, like, cause I go through my Twitter accounts and I follow people and I try to make sure that cause I gotten to the point where I no longer follow people who are like spread open. Like, I mean, like the pinks spread open. Oh, yeah. I don't follow people like that anymore because I don't want to see that shit. I want to engage. I don't want to fucking see all of that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know how you get down. I don't want to know what your labia looks like, But I respect the hustle because I know that's one of the last frontiers where you can do that. Mm-hmm. But I followed someone who was like talking about sex worker rights. She was talking about, politics in regards to sex worker rights. And she was like all about it. She was down for the hustle. And I was like, yeah, she's a rad bitch, So I follow her. And then 2 days later, she's putting out fisting content.
Hey, you know what? That takes a lot.
She was up to her elbow. She was up to her elbow in some chick's butt. And I was like, whoa, time out.
I
didn't sign up for that, but
I mean, actually, you did.
I did, but I didn't know.
You got that on yourself.
I didn't know what I was getting into. But like, I was just like, oh, time out. But I was like, God damn. But like, but then it turned out that she was like, that's the thing. It's like you never know. She was having. It turned out she was having a 2-day rant about sex worker rights, but her real platform was fisting.
Well, I mean, if that's if that's what makes her money, then that's what makes her money.
That's what made her money, obviously. But it was funny. I just got felt like I was tricked.
You feel you were denied critical need to know information?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So when you said it, it made me think like. Gave me the visual. This person elbow deep in another chick's butt.
Some people are really into that. I dated somebody who was really into that. Not doing it to me. Yeah. That was a moment.
That's your business. But I'm like, I mean, I know everybody has different things. Like, this is not about kink shaming at all. You know what I mean? But
you know what? There's something for everyone, and that's the beauty of the internet.
There's something for everybody, and there's some things that are not for other people. But I was just like... Yeah, man, that's like one of the things, but I don't even know if fisting is not even allowed on some campsites. I don't think.
Some campsites, some clip sites. So there are a lot of like, I would call them extreme or fringe, fetishes where like, you can't do them on some sites, but you can do them on others. Or, like they have to be hosted in certain countries in order to be able to do them.
What, on top of your head, do you know, like, who allows fisting? I'm just curious. Like, for anybody out there,
I have no clue. That is not my jam.
That's your jam. Like, I'm just curious. Like, where do you go for something like that?
I have no idea. I do know some people who do that, but they all own their own like private sites. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, like there's certain, like I make pee clips.
Yeah. That's another thing. That's another thing that's like the taboo, the pee and then the scat. Those are the other things.
I don't do scat.
Yeah, because that's a shitty situation. So why would you? But anyways.
Let's not talk shit about it.
Let's not talk shit about the scat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's another one. It's like really like taboo. Yeah. Anyways, but I'm saying that's another one
like
where sites don't allow it.
The point I was trying to make is that some sites like there are some sites where I can't sell any sort of pee clip. Like I'm not peeing on anybody. I'm not consuming my pee. I'm not doing anything like that. Mm-hmm. But even if I'm peeing into a jar or a toilet,
a natural occurrence. Yeah.
Yeah. Not allowed to sell it.
Right.
You know. But there's other sites where, you know, you can, but you can't do certain things or, you know, and I mean, I just try to stay on the major sites and like, you know.
What about breast milk? Like someone recently, I have to go back and read this, but someone was posting on the forum, on one of the forums, like that I'm on, you and I both are on, that they were talking about, breast milk. Mm-hmm. They were talking about how they got into trouble for, breast milk. And I thought that was kind of strange because that, again, is a natural occurrence that comes from your body.
Yeah.
So I don't really, that is odd, isn't it? But like,
yeah, I kind of wonder. I wonder what the site was. I was not paying attention for this round.
Me neither.
I don't know. There are some weird things. Like, it's weird. I got a warning from a site. Because some guy said I had like used abusive language. That's what he had said. Said I had used abusive language. So this guy had taken me exclusive, or not exclusive. He had bought a private show from me, like bought a one-on-one show from me. It wasn't on StreamMate. It was on another site, but bought a one-on-one show with me. And he had asked me to. He was into like home wrecking. He was like, I want you to talk shit about my wife. I was like, some made-up person, I guess. Maybe I'll do. Okay, whatever. And I used a word he didn't know, so he gave me a bad rating. And then he said that I was using abusive language. I was like, I have the messages from you.
Right. I bet I know what site you're talking about. But anyways, because I have excuse me, I have had similar situations. I already know who you're talking about, but yeah.
I sent the site because they gave me a warning. I sent the site the thing and they were like, oh, and they took it away, but.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's all about documentation, but yeah, there's some of them are tripping. These guys, they say like really, really crazy things and so forth. But anyways, we are coming to the end of our second episode, and Kendi, you have been a jewel and a gem, and I knew you would be.
Oh, stop!
I knew you would be. You will definitely be coming back. Kendi is coming back, y'all. I'm corny. I'm sorry.
I see what you did there. I'm corny as fuck. So many puns.
Yeah. So this is the end of our second episode of Shit Guys Say It to Camgirls, sponsored by Boleyn Models. This is Taja Ethereal, and I am talking to Miss Kendi Cumming, Camgirl extraordinaire. And thank you so much for coming on. And
I really appreciate you having me. I enjoyed myself.
Yay!
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I will be talking to you probably like right after this. So
Coolio.
We ain't done.
Yeah, just cut out whatever you need to cut out, you know.
Yeah, of course. We ain't cutting it. We ain't cutting this out, girl. Anyways, this is the end of our second podcast for Shit Guys Say to Camgirls. You can follow us on SoundCloud and YouTube, or find us directly on the BoleynModels.com website. And thank you for listening. Bye bye.